So welcome to Albany County Direct. I'm your host, County Executive Daniel McCoy, and on today's episode, we're going to discuss veteran services in Albany County, which is near and dear to my heart, being a combat vet, still being in the New York Army National Guard. And with me today, I have Scott Leslie, Director of the Albany County Veteran Service Bureau. Thank you for being here today, Scott. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Bureau, what you do, but I kind of want to get into your military career a little bit. You retired. You're full-time with the National Guard. You might want to explain that to some of the listeners with the differences between M-Day, AGR, and regular Army.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, County Executive. So I started off with the Massachusetts Army National Guard in 2000. Started off as an infantryman, 11 Bravo, 11 Charlie, and shortly after that, 9/11 went down. And I made my way to the Watervliet Arsenal in Schenectady.
I just want to stop you there. 11 Bravo. I know what it is, but I know some of the listeners don't. What MOS is that?
Yeah, 11 Bravo is an infantryman, and my second MOS is an 11 Charlie, is an indirect fire infantryman. It's where we using mortars. And shortly after 9/11, we found ourselves with securing the Watervliet Arsenal as a housing unit in Schenectady. And then after that, I made my way to Cuba for a year with the 181 Infantry out of Massachusetts. Then I moved to Albany, New York in 2004. And ended up getting into recruiting with the New York Army National Guard as an AGR soldier. And the AGR program complements the National Guard's forces as an active duty member of a unit or a force. And I'd been in recruiting from then till 2009. And then I'd take a break from that and went over to Afghanistan with a fixed wing unit out of Latham. Came back in 2010, went back to recruiting for a little bit. Then eventually I finished out my time with the 42nd Infantry Division with the G3 shop as an operations NCO. We deployed to Kuwait as part of Operation OSS. And then I ended up retiring in 2022.
And I was lucky enough to get you. So I'm what you call a traditional Guard soldier. I'm an M-Day. That means we do 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. But in reality, it's always a little bit more than that. Mm-hmm. Scott's been active duty. The National Guard has active duty soldiers. It's just like being on regular active duty for the regular Army. But the difference is he answers to not just the President of the United States, he answers to the governor. So, but again, vast background, which is awesome. Lucky for us to get you, and we're happy when you got on board. And now that you've been director, I've been extremely happy because you refocused the department. And I really want to talk a little bit about your background because you have a diverse background. You've been all over. You understand what soldiers need. You're seeing it from recruiting when they come in with, they're wet behind the ears to a seasoned soldier that leaves, staying in contact with them. And, what's been one of your priorities since you've been the director of Veterans Affairs that you really want to get out there?
Well, one of our priorities is our PFC Dwyer peer-to-peer program, where we put on a lot of supportive programming to increase the quality of life of our veteran population and of their families. Another big focus has been we've upgraded and we've invested in some technology that allows us to file claims for veterans with the Veterans Administration electronically. It allows for much more accurate reporting and tracking. So now, with the investment we made with that software, we're knocking out claims quicker, much more accurately, and we can track them. So now we've got a system that's coming into place where even after we file a claim for a veteran, we can track their progress, and once they get their claim adjudicated with the VA, we can introduce them to other services like our PFC Dwyer programming and the March On program. We're not only just taking care of our veterans, we're also connecting them to other opportunities and entitlements that they have that might be outside of the scope of our office.
Which I think is awesome. Scott, as you know, that was one of my directives that I had a pet peeve with, because still being in the New York Army National Guard, I was getting slack when I was up there on drill weekends and different events because people were like, "Hey, no offense, we can't go through your office. They're not getting anything done. Our paperwork's being lost. We're not hearing back." And so that was alarming to me because I didn't want to hear that, especially being a veteran. I wanted to be like, hey, no, it's it's about customer service. It's about taking care of the veterans. It's about taking care of their family, their kids, making sure we navigate them through that system of the VA, which is not easy. And I do want to commend you because it's been like night and day. How long you been there now? It feels like.
Yeah, just over a year.
I was gonna say that it feels like a year, right?
Yeah.
But you hit the ground running in. So I want to say this to any of the veterans listening to this. Our record's been great now. Scott just explained it better than I can, what he's doing with the system. And please come in. We're here for you. And if we can't assist you, he's going to find the right person to make sure that you can get the help that you need to make sure you navigate that system. So again, as a veteran, as people in there out in the military, we know that the system's hard to get through. And it helps when someone's kind of guiding you through it and walking you through it. And trust me, he's not recruiting anymore, so he's not going to try to get you to rejoin and get back in. But we made it a priority over the past year to ensure our Veteran Services Bureau is more inclusive, responsive to the needs of the veterans. And I can't thank you enough, especially the women veterans. And I want to talk a little bit about that because the women's veterans have different issues, different needs, same as men, but there's certain cases it's a little bit different. But you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, actually, going back to my recruiting background, our latest service officer that we hired is actually a young lady that I recruited back in 2012. I was her recruiter, and her and I also deployed overseas together. And, she got out, I retired, and once I came on board here, about July of last year, I started to introduce her to my office and told her that I intended to hire her. And she's been with us now for a few months. And she's been doing a really great job of conducting interviews and working with some of our female veterans. And it's just important for my office and for you to have female representatives on staff so that our female veterans feel more comfortable so that they can bring their issues up.
You said that excellent, because I have to tell you, I hear that's some of the feedback I get back too, because listen, I'll say this for Scott and I'm going to put words in your mouth. Veterans aren't afraid sometimes to tell you what they're really thinking. They're direct. They're not going to sugarcoat it. And, that was one of the issues that we had with the women veterans that, they don't want to come talk to a male. There might be a sensitive issue. It might be whatever it may be. But, we want to make sure that they feel comfortable when they come in to do that stuff. And on another note, we got the Women's Veterans Engagement Conference coming up in May. And what can you expect from that? What are you thinking? What can we put out there to get people excited about this?
This is going to be a really fun event. It's on the 31st of May at the Celtic Hall in 155. And we're inviting female veterans from all across the state to come up and join us for a day of activities. It centers on a 90-minute conference coming out from National. We're going to be one of the several host locations across the country. Early in the morning, we're going to have some light snacks. We're going to have a yoga open for anybody that signs up for it. After that, we're going to have our vendors that are going to start showing up. These are all veteran-friendly organizations that are going to be tabling to let our female veterans know what's out there, what's available to them. Following that, we're going to have a PFC Dwyer conference. We're going to have every PFC Dwyer representative in the area that's willing to show up. We're going to just have a best practices conference. We're going to talk about that. It's also going to be an opportunity for some of the other attendees. They can come in, they can take part in the Dwyer conference, or they can start talking to the vendors. And then around noon, we're going to have a quick speech. Then we're going to start off that 90-minute national televised conference. And after that, just be following up with some lunch, just hanging out, just
nice.
Enjoying each other's company.
No, and sometimes that's what it takes to be in the company of a veteran to discuss things to get through it. Yeah. But, is the New York Army National Guard or is the Reserves, Major General Shields, you reach out to him and his team, are they going to be involved with this? Or is it just more like the civilian side, keep the military out of it? Is it more or less for the veterans and people that are just still wearing the uniform that come and see what opportunities are out there?
Oh, yeah, we're inviting everybody. And the fourth floor, General Shields and his staff, they've been very supportive of a lot of my efforts, especially with claims. I've been over to DMN.
It's Major General to you. I know you're retired, but so,
Major General Shields. Major General Shields has been very supportive, and his staff has been very supportive of what we're doing. And, we're inviting family. We're inviting veterans. If you're still in the military, you're a veteran, retired, we want to talk to those female veterans at this conference.
No, and thank you for that update. And I hope the listeners out there, please get on our website, come check it out. Even if you stop by for 5 minutes and you're like, it's not for you. But, and I know there's veterans out there because we have buddies, Scott and I do, that don't want to be around veterans. They don't want to be reminded of anything. They want to just put it in a compartment and say, "Hey, I'm done," and that's not good either. So please stop by and come talk to us. But looking beyond the conference, what are some of your long-term goals when it comes to serving our veterans besides what you just said?
Yeah, some of the other long-term goals include continue to train our staff up, get them more experienced, and we want to continue to work with our national, state, and local partners to make sure that we're pulling our fair load and we're able to assist our, other counties. If they're not as well resourced as I am, I want to get to the point where we can assist other counties so we can put the pressure on.
So I do want to say to the listeners out there, Scott got me in a soft moment. He knows I'm in the military veteran, and he's like, oh, we got to help other counties. I don't mind if you invite them to this and we do that. And I'm like, all right, they're getting funding. I go, you're killing me right now. But yes, we do open it up. Especially like we were hosting things at the arena football, lacrosse. We were giving veterans and their family tickets, paying for them. They would have a dinner and then come back at halftime and then have another hot dog or some popcorn. And then I start talking to people from Rensselaer and Schenectady, Montgomery County. And I'm like, doesn't your veterans department do this stuff? And I go, Scott, we got to focus. And he looked at me, he goes, but county executive, you're a veteran. Am I going to turn him away? And I'm like, no. He knew he got me, and he knew I wasn't going to argue with him. And that's one thing I say about Scott. You wear your heart on your sleeve. You want to really do good, and what I enjoy out of this department now is your leadership. Not all the time. We do have our little debates, but you're out there, and you're always trying to do more for the veterans, improve services, outreach. Tell little people, anyone listening right now, where your new office is.
St. Rose. We're over at 420 Western Avenue, right there at the Athletic and Event Center. It's been great. We've been there, a few weeks they've been there now, and it's working out really well.
So, we moved them here, and with Department of Aging, we thought it was very important to get him, Department of Veterans here. The Mazaries have 2 houses on campus that were for veteran, students. A safe place for them to go to be with other veterans. They could stay in one side or they could just come hang out. It's kind of the concept, but we're going to be opening up more services for veterans here at the College of St. Rose as we continue to roll stuff out here. And, one of my long-term goals was to get to more veterans and have a safe haven. And that's what you're going to get here. And, I just got to say that, we've continued to build up on this department to get the claims done. To really start getting the resources out there. And I have to say thank you to you and your team. And would you want to add anything to this?
The only thing we can add is, as we continue to grow and the experience of our veteran service officers grows, our throughput, our bandwidth for knocking out claims for our residents, it's just going to get better. And as we continue on with the March On program, that's another thing that we're building on. With March On, we're going to provide an amazing amount of customer service, almost a concierge level experience to not just veterans, but to their families. So after we get past the claims process, our March On program is going to be able to provide tons of support for the family to sit down there and actually have the time to sit down there and ask the veteran or their family, what's next? You've got the claim knocked out, but what else can we do to improve the lives of their families? Maybe they're underemployed. We can find them a better job. Maybe they need some education assistance or housing assistance, whatever they think that they need help with. That's what the March On program is going to be, at least part of the program is going to be doing, is working with these service members and their families.
No, thank you for bringing that up. And that was part of why we made the decision to move you here, to make you more accessible. But most importantly, too, is what you just said, but with the on-ramps that Governor Hochul and I announced here, I believe 2 months ago now, and talked about that going in there to help people that are unemployed or don't have a certain skill set to get them there. And then Scott and I talked and was like, there's a lot of education benefits. There's a lot of entitlements veterans get that we can tap into, especially working with the state and the governor and her vision with this. Why not be here, boots on the ground, get it done? I do want to end on the one note. I want you to talk a little bit about return to favor. So veterans, you go to other states, and I got to say, New York State is not as generous as South Carolina or Florida or other areas that Chicago. That if you're active military, you show your ID card, you usually get 10% off, sometimes 50% off, 75%, depends on where you're at. And so New York State, so when veterans come here, and especially from other areas, and they always say, man, you guys don't get no breaks, for veterans. We have the return of favor. For veterans, all they have to do is come down. If you're serving, show your ID card, go through Scott's office, you'll get an ID card from us. Or if you're serving currently in the National Guard and Reserve, some soldiers never got their DD Form 214. So because they haven't retired yet. So they won't get that until they retire. So if they just show us their ID card, we'll give them a return of favor card. I know I'm throwing this at you. I don't know how. I think we have a couple hundred now merchants that have signed up for this. And, you can go to different stores that participate. You show them return your ID card, return a favor. They know what it is. And it can be anywhere from 5% to 20% off, like Bosco's and Colony Center every day, 15% off on top of all your sales. There's stuff out there. There's stores that do that. Do you want to get into that a little bit?
Return the favor card. It's a quick application. You just fill it out, bring your ID card, your 214, or whatever type of military discharge documentation you have. We'll take a photo of you, print out the card, give it to you, and we also furnish the applicant with a printed list of all the participating vendors. And we also continue to make efforts to get out there into the community to identify other merchants that want to get involved in the Return the Favor card. If anybody knows of a vendor that wants to get involved in this, please reach out to my office. We'd love to add them.
I just want to say this. I had this place where I get suits, and and they were like, they wanted to get on board, and I said, I don't know if they'll come here, and but I go, give me a discount. Veterans love their discount, and he did it, and he was surprised. He goes, I can't believe when people come in and show me, and customers I never knew were in served in the military at one point or a time, because a lot of veterans too won't ask. They're not going to go up and say, hey, do I get a discount? And they just don't. But I do want to say to the merchants out there, we want to support your stores, all the stores in the county, but especially ones supporting veterans and giving back to the veterans who served. And I want to say, Scott, thank you for being here. I know we're going to do more of this. We got more programs we're announcing. Go to our website, go to the veterans part on our website. You're going to see all the programs we're doing, all the stuff we have upcoming. Last year, we had a nice little get-together at Lawson's Lake. We had a great band that actually all the members are still in the military, I believe, right?
Except for, I think her name was Casey, one of the lead singers. I think she's not in, but everybody else is in.
Still in, right?
They're in, or there might be a couple veterans in there.
Yeah. So, which is cool, right? Yeah. So it was a great time. We're going to be doing a lot more stuff. And I do want to say thank you to you and your team for all the stuff that you do day in, day out. And for our listeners at home, if you're interested in learning more about these programs, visit the links on our episode in the descriptions. And be sure to check us out on our episodes of Spotify or Apple Music. Subscribe, and you'll never miss any updates. And again, please, if you have any comments, concerns, put it in there. We'll get it to Scott or call him up directly. Trust me, he's going to call you back, or he's going to have someone in his office call you back or email you. He's going to chase you down, and we're going to get it done. So again, thank you to everyone, and thanks for listening to Albany County Direct.